Hi everyone. Title of this presentation is Joint Relay Selection and Frequency Allocation for D2D Communications. Here is an outline of this presentation. The widespread of smart handheld mobile devices together with their bandwidth hungry applications demand more data rate and have already saturated the conventional communication systems. The data rate of an communication is estimated with the Shannon's capacity formula, where the signal to noise and interference ratio or SINR is defined as follows. The interference is nothing but the unwanted received signal power from other communicating devices in the same frequency channel. And the received power is calculated as follows, where it is inversely proportional with the transmitter receiver distance. Thus, by making the communication distance shorter, we can get higher receive power with lesser interference. The D2D communication is the enabling technology which allows two nearby devices to communicate directly with each other with limited or no involvement of the base station. It not only improves the data rate, it also improves the spectral efficiency by allowing frequency reuse within same cell. Ideally, all devices should be given unique frequency channels for its communication to avoid interferences. But the number of such frequencies is limited and significantly smaller than the number of users in the service area. Thus, the frequency must be shared, which incurs interference. The aim of the channel allocation problem is to optimally allocate the frequency channels to each activated link such that their data rate requirements are satisfied. This is a well-known hard problem to deal with. In cases where direct communication link of poor quality due to distance or presence of obstacle etc., we can opt for relay-aided communication as shown in this figure. The relay devices are nothing but the ideal D2D users in the vicinity. Device relaying and its associated security issues and incentivizing pricing models are also being studied. It should be noted that a relay-aided communication link with short distance hops often offer more throughput than traditional communication via the base station, especially when the devices are at the boundary of a service region away from the base station. A D2D pair may have more than one candidate relays. Similarly, a relay device can be candidate for many such D2D pairs, but a relay can serve only one D2D pair at a time. Now consider the depicted scenario. If the relay R2 is assigned to the blue link as shown in the left figure, the red one has no relay to choose from. So the right figure is more optimal in this example. So knowing the frequency assignment, the relay selection problem can be viewed as a 2D matching problem. The two problems, resource allocation and relay selection, have inherent dependencies. In this example, the quality of service or QoS offered by a relay R2 to the red link and its viability is dependent on the frequency assigned to R2 and the blue link, as they are close to each other. Therefore, the two problems need to be dealt jointly. Studying existing literature, we found that most of the existing works solve this problem in separate stages. This can lead to suboptimal result. Multiple use of frequencies in D2D communication have not been studied much. Furthermore, most of the existing works consider one-way communications, while many modern applications such as video calling etc. requires two-way communication. This brings us to our problem statement. Given a set of requesting D2D pairs, we have to optimally allocate frequency channels satisfying their data rate requirements. Furthermore, for relay-aided communication, we need to optimally assign the relays while allocating the frequencies. The aim is to maximize the number of D2D links activated, which in turn improve the overall system throughput. In this work, we made the following contributions. We consider multiple reuse of frequencies. A network coding has been used to reduce the number of time slots required for two-way communication. An LP relaxation based greedy strategy has been developed and its performance has been validated through simulation. We assume a base station controlled D2D overlay scenario with F number of direct D2D communication link available to us. We assume both direct and relay-aided communications. The number of requesting D2D pair is larger than the available frequency channels. Let D be the set of D2D pairs that can communicate directly. Here two such examples is shown. One is this, one is this. And let D dash be the set of relay-aided D2D pair, and one such example is shown here. We assume time is discretized into small delta t time slots. We assume two-way communication which requires two successive time slots to complete a communication. For relay-aided communication, we consider only one hop relay-assisted communication, where ideal D2D devices in the vicinity of a D2D pair can act as a relay for that pair. We assume devices are pseudo-stationary, that they do not move for a small period of time. We also assume all active devices transmit with a fixed power P. A typical two-way communication via relay node requires 4 time slots as shown in the left figure. By use of network coding technique, it is possible to finish that within 2 time slots. As shown in the right figure, in the first time slot, the relay device R simultaneously receives from both A and B. In the next time slot, R sends out a combined signal to both A and B, from which they are able to extract their required data. This effectively halves the required time slots. Thus, we need to solve the problem for just a pair of time slots. The coding decoding process is similar to how the XOR operator works. The exact requirement and other details for such network coding technique can be found in the relevant literatures. A receiver might get interference from a transmitter communicating in the same frequency channel. Here we are solving the problem for 2 time slots. Suppose D2D pair A and B communicating via relay R, whereas P and Q communicates directly. The left figure shows the scenario of the first time slot. Here both A and B acts as transmitter and R acts as receiver. The interference are shown in the dotted lines. And in the right figure, for the next time slot, the transmitter receiver role reverses and the corresponding interferences are shown in the dotted lines. With this, we begin our problem formulation by defining few indicator variables. XIRF denotes whether ith D2D pair, namely I1, I2, communicate via relay device R using frequency channel F, and similarly YKF denotes whether kth D2D pair, namely K1, K2, communicate directly using frequency channel F. We denote the receive power from a transmitter A to receiver B as RAB. In the first slot, for a relay-aided communication, the relay device acts as a receiver. The total interference at the relay device R for D2D pair I communicating in the frequency F is denoted as INTF IRF and defined as follows. The first term involving the double sum is for the interference from all other relay-aided communications, and the second term for the direct communications. In the second time slot, for a relay-aided communication I, both I1 and I2 acts as receiver. The total interference at these two devices are given by the following two expressions. Similarly, for a D2D communication, the interference for the two time slots are given by the following expressions. The SINR expression for the relay-aided communication is given as follows for the two time slots, and to satisfy the required data rate, SINR value must be above some required threshold for all activated links. This QoS requirement can be encoded as linear constant as follows. Here m is a large constant value which represents positive infinity. Similarly, for direct D2D links, the QoS constants are given as follows. The uniqueness and integrality constants are given by the following inequalities. Finally, the objective function of our ILP is given by this expression which basically maximizes the number of active D2D links. Before proposing our algorithm, we first propose a simplification. We can eliminate the need of allocation vector y and thus simplify the above expressions. For this, we introduce a dummy virtual relay node for each direct D2D pair. Thus, all D2D communication are now relay-aided. The interference equations reduces to the followings, and our objective function reduces to this. We thus need to solve for only relay-aided communication for a pair of consecutive time slots. We relax the integrality constant to allow indicator variables to have fractional values between 0 and 1. We now solve the resultant LP and get an optimal solution of the relaxed problem. We now apply rounding of scheme on this solution to obtain an integral vector x. We here employ an iterative rounding of scheme which satisfies the uniqueness constant shown above. We now populate the frequency classes where each frequency class f contains the links which are activated with that frequency as indicated by the solution vector x. We treat each frequency class independently. The vector x obtained out of the rounding off may not be a feasible solution to the original problem, as it is not guaranteed to satisfy all QoS constants. To make x feasible, we need to remove some of the links from frequency classes. We do this iteratively and independently for each frequency classes until it satisfies the QoS constants. In each step of the iteration, we pick a victim link which causes maximum interference in that frequency class and remove it and put it into a discard pool L. At this point, we have a feasible solution to our original problem, and now it is time to improve this solution. We do this by iteratively selecting most economical link from the discarded pool L and try to put it into the most economical frequency class if the QoS constants are satisfied. By economical, we refer to the minimum possible interference. The proposed algorithm is formalized into the following pseudocode. The formulated algorithm terminated after a finite number of steps. After the rounding up step, each frequency class must contain at least one D2D link in it. Therefore, when we obtain the feasible solution by removing a few links from the frequency classes to satisfy the QoS constants, each frequency class still must contain at least one D2D link in it. After this, we are only improving the solution size by trying to add more D2D link in some frequency class. This gives us the following theoretical performance guarantee of our proposed algorithm. The same is then verified through simulation. For comparison, we consider two closely related problems, which are abbreviated as IHM and ULRA. Since these two works do not consider network coding, to make the comparison fair, we have taken simulation environment simulation to the ULRA and execute our algorithm without using network coding for slot reduction. As seen in the figures, our algorithm outperforms both IHM and ULRA in terms of number of links activated and overall system throughput. Using network coding only improves our solution and brings us closer to the optimal one. Our proposed algorithm needs to solve the LP for a fairly large size, which incurs significant cost. This makes our proposed algorithm slightly slower than the IHM and ULRA, but this extra time cost can be justified as our algorithm considers multiple reviews of frequencies, while IHM and ULRA consider only signal reviews. And as shown in the simulation result, our proposed scheme shows significant improvement over the existing approaches. In future, we hope to incorporate device mobility into the solution and improve the link stability of the activated links. And finally, we thank you all for listening.